Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Dries. Don't forget to join me every Monday for a free mindset alignment. Go to mondaymindsetreset.com to sign up to join my free weekly call at 10 a.m. Central every Monday. On today's episode, got another fellow Go Abundance member. Coming out of my old hood, actually, in Sacramento, Ryan Chaw is 31 years old. He's a pharmacist and real estate investor. I think he's bought 8 houses this year already. I met him at an event I did a year ago. Sounds like he's doing some really cool stuff out there. Ryan, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Jason. Glad to be on the podcast.
Great to connect today. How's the weather in Sacramento? Is it warm?
Yeah, nice and warm, sunny weather in California.
Excellent. I do miss the dry heat. And Austin's a little bit humid and hot.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So what do you want coaching on today? What should we talk about?
Yeah, so for me, I've always struggled with, and I think it might come from my Asian background, probably. I struggle with fear of visibility. I run a coaching program as well for real estate investors, for newbie real estate investors. And I just struggle like getting myself out there. And I know like social media is great. And obviously YouTube, podcasts, but I always had this kind of like fear of visibility kind of holding me back. It gives me a lot of anxiety, especially being like on camera. At least I struggled with it more beforehand. Now I'm a little bit more natural, but yeah, I still have that, at the back of my mind. Am I going to look like a guru trying to show like get rich quick schemes, right? So I want to try to avoid that and stay humble, while also being a thought leader.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So what's your question?
So the question is,
how can I help you? Yeah.
How do I get over that fear of visibility and that anxiety with putting myself out there as a thought leader, as a mentor?
Okay. So are you feeling fear of visibility right now in this moment?
I would say a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And is it possible for that fear of visibility to be gone? Okay. If the fear of visibility was gone, what would be in its place?
I guess confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long has this fear of visibility been going on?
As far as I can remember, I used to do some public speaking and take public speaking classes. So I would say maybe after that, I had a little bit less of fear on stage, but I still have, a fear of like getting on YouTube and, maybe even getting on really big podcasts, and sometimes even like just meeting people who are, wealthier than me, I guess. People who have made it really big. Like if I were to go up to Jeff Bezos and meet him, I'm sure I wouldn't have that fear or that anxiety playing in the background.
How would you rather feel if you were meeting somebody like Jeff Bezos or somebody more wealthier than you?
I would like to feel like, hey, we're all on the same level. We're just here to learn and grow. I think everyone has something to add. Everyone has something unique to add and a unique perspective. Okay. And so, yeah, I would just like to feel more of that and not feel that, hesitation.
Okay. How are you feeling right now?
About the same, to be honest.
About the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to be more visible?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to grow my business. One of my goals, I have 2 goals, right? To provide the very best student housing in the area that I invest in. I want to be the best student housing provider. The second goal is to find others who are kind of like me, where they're stuck in the rat race, and the real estate investing is kind of a way out for them. And especially what we do, it's kind of a room hacking. It's kind of a special model where you can make a lot more cash flow. And I just want to spread the word that, hey, I was able to do this. You should be able to do this as well. Because I'm actually retiring in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So are you actually taking the action you want to be taking?
I am. I would say, well, okay, for my real estate investing, yes. For the fear of like getting on podcasts and YouTube, I have definitely been meeting a lot of resistance. Like I'll put out a YouTube video like consistently, maybe for like once a week, right? For like a couple months, and all of a sudden I just like I don't feel like doing it anymore,
Okay.
I have that struggle.
Is that resistance actually fear of being seen, or is that resistance to what you're doing? As in, like, you shouldn't be doing that?
That's a good question. I mean, I know like my purpose is to show others kind of a way out to build wealth, right? I really feel like my purpose is to show others how to create generational wealth. But yeah, I guess I think it's still fear of visibility. I don't know.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So is that fear of visibility preventing you from taking action?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. Okay. So why do you fear visibility?
I don't want to seem like a rich guru, trying to teach others how to get rich quick or, be a fake, right? I still have imposter syndrome, I would say, to a certain extent, even though, we've made a lot of money in real estate.
Okay.
And, I have 14 houses now, or properties, I should say. Some of them are quadruplexes. So, yeah, I still have trouble getting over that fear. It's weird. It's like, when I explain to someone, okay, I have all these properties, and they're like, wow, that's crazy. I still have that feeling like, oh, yeah, but it's not as great as this guy or that guy or whatever, the gap mindset thinking.
So that feeling that you're describing as imposter syndrome, the fear of being seen, describe for me what that feels like without saying imposter syndrome and without saying fear of being seen. Like, what does it feel like in your body?
Feel like in my body, I would say just kind of like a feeling I have to get rid of, this kind of like nervous feeling, where I don't know, like pain, kind of like maybe upset stomach, or maybe like a heart, my heart's beating really fast, or, it just feels like you're nervous. Like when you're about to walk up to a hot girl or something like that,
So you're doing something different.
Yeah.
That could be exciting, could be terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That kind of feeling. Mm-hmm.
And that's part of being human.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason you were a successful pharmacist is because you take consistent, stable action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
And that's part of your nature as your personality. I don't see you jumping off cliffs and things like that, right?
No, I did go skydiving before, though. So
because it was safe, right? Proven safe, right?
Relatively safe. Yeah.
Relatively safe, right? They hadn't killed anybody recently, right?
Yeah, correct.
So
make sure of that.
So what you're feeling, it sounds to me like what you're feeling is you're feeling the process of growth and expansion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm not really hearing a big fear of actually being seen.
Right.
Now, I know your brain has labeled it that way, but it sounds to me like you are living your life, you're successful, and at the same time, you're leaned into more growth. You're basically playing what sounds like your full potential.
Yeah, gotcha.
And when you play at your full potential, you're constantly going outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's definitely I struggle with going outside of my comfort zone because I just have that, like that feeling that you said. Like I don't know if it's just anxiety around growth or anxiety around the feeling of growth.
Well, stop right there. Let's stop. Let's stop analyzing it. right?
Yeah.
Because there's a physical feeling that you're having when you're doing this.
Yeah.
Your brain is trying to make sense of it, and your
Yeah.
brain is trying to analyze why, right? So one of the ways we shift our mindset quickly is we shift the label that's being put on the process.
Yeah.
Because I bet you if we backed up like 2 years and said, all right, Ryan, if here's where you can go.
Yeah.
In order for you to go there, this is what it's going to feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd probably say, okay, bring it on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So you're not afraid of these feelings. They're not crippling you. Now, we can always assume we could have done more yesterday, right? We can always say, I could be doing more yesterday.
Yeah, of course.
And for all we know, the reason you're not taking the information about getting on podcast is because that's not the direction you're supposed to go. Right? You could get exposure by meeting one person and blow. We don't know.
Yeah.
So what we do know is you did everything you could to get here. We do know that you're moving forward. And there are beliefs and perspectives around going out there, and we can't dive into all of them in this 30-minute session. And that's why I'm going this direction to give you the biggest benefit is that you're probably always going to feel a little stretched when you go outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm guessing what happens is you go, I'm being stretched. You may take a breath. You may double check your numbers, right? You may check your safeties or whatever. So maybe what you're feeling is your internal system that actually is part of your success, but you had just been labeling it as something it wasn't.
Yeah, I've always been labeling it in a negative context, I would say, for sure.
What if it wasn't?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, definitely.
So let's change the label then.
Okay.
So repeat after me. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
And I am successful.
And I am successful.
And I'm going to create more success.
And I'm going to create more success.
And I'm going to keep pushing myself to do new things.
And I'm going to keep pushing myself to do new things.
My conservative nature allows me to execute with a high level of success. And I'm grateful for that. And my conservative nature makes it feel interesting. Anytime I do something new. But it's actually a superpower. Because it's helping focus me on success even more. So maybe that feeling that I used to describe as visibility.
And so that feeling I used to describe as visibility
could actually be an indicator I'm on the right track.
Because
when I feel that way, I'm usually growing. And creating more success. And I welcome that.
Cool. All right. I like it.
How's that feel?
Feels great. Do I say this every morning, or how does that part work?
Okay, so repeat after me. I take ownership of my life and everything in it.
I take ownership of my life and everything in it.
I choose to live in the world of immediate transformation.
Where
I can transform as fast as I want to.
Or
as slow as I want to. I no longer require further time or effort to integrate. I take ownership of anything contradictory to this. And I release it now.
Cool. What does it mean to integrate? Just curious. Sorry.
Well, your entire perception of reality is based on frames or beliefs, right? So basically what I did is I interrupted your pattern, your association of a feeling to thought. Your action was creating this response in your body.
Yeah.
Now, if you had been failing, I would have done something different. But your actions, from what I can tell, are creating success. So I just needed to change the association from that's what your body feels like is bad to that's what your body feels like is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
So we shifted that process, and I literally brought you into alignment with that new point of view. Right. And you were like, this feels great. And then your brain ran another story. Your brain was, do I need to do this every day? Right? You said that, right? Do I need to? Because prior to this call, you've been operating from the frame that when you change like that, it's not permanent instantly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So the second repeat after me was to remove that old belief that was believing it can't be permanent instantly.
Gotcha.
Do you notice how subtle it is?
Yeah.
And this mindset work that we're doing at this level is like, it is ridiculously subtle. It is so subtle. Because what I just showed you was we're not even talking about the target right now.
Yeah.
We're simply talking about moving you into alignment with what you want. That's because all the other ways is action. And like I used to do a results coach when I worked for Tony Robbins, and it works okay. Mm-hmm. But now we work on alignment coaching. So getting you into alignment, because if you get into alignment with that reality happening, that reality will happen. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So all we're doing is we're removing the subtle old perspectives that contradict this new way of being from being permanent.
Gotcha. So removing resistance.
Yeah. So creating the success. Like what I do is to help create a space where you don't have resistance to what you want occurring.
Right.
Because if you're like, okay, I'm going to go to my next, I want to get into real estate investing. Like you're talking to a lot of people, I want to get into real estate investing. That's a future tense. Yeah. I've got to do this. And most times when people talk, they're creating future problems. Hey, Jason, I have fear of failure. Are you feeling it right now? No. Well, so you're telling me you're going to fear it in the future? Yeah. Well, don't do that. Right. Unwind it. So because we have the ability to shift our perspective so fast. And when you operate from a place of complete ownership, you can make permanent changes. And that's why this alignment coaching is so powerful, because it literally just shifts you into the place where what you want just flows.
Yeah. Makes sense. Cool.
So how are you feeling now?
Feeling better. Feels like I have a tool available. Definitely. And it's great that we defined it. I think that's probably the biggest thing, because I've definitely been, like you said, mislabeling it as something bad, right? Versus this is what growth feels like.
Mm-hmm. And my hallucination is that you label it that way a few times and it's going to go away after that.
Cool. All right.
Just like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Don't
make up any problems because we're here.
No, I would say, I don't know, like the practical part is like sometimes I just have so many to-dos each day. And so I'm like, man, I really need an executive assistant, And so I don't have the systems for that right now. We bought 8 properties this year. Now we have so much to manage. It's like, and boom, boom, boom. I'm like everywhere right now. So it's all those to-dos that also kind of creates a little bit of anxiety as well. But I realize it is growth. So sometimes at the end of the day, I guess my question to you is like, how do you at the end of the day go like, hey, I did enough today, we could do the rest tomorrow, rather than lay awake with insomnia saying, shit, I forgot to do that or this or, all that other stuff you should have done. Right.
The simple answer is plan your time, plan your weeks, plan your months, plan your days with the outcomes that you're after completing. And of the outcomes you are focused on completing, you should have the ones that are I must do them, and these are optional. So the answer to that question is more strategic planning.
Right.
Because if you're running at that pace, you need to take probably an hour to 2 hours a week to plan your time.
Wow, that's actually more than I expected, I would say. Okay.
Because let's just imagine How many properties do you have right now?
14.
Imagine you had 1,400.
Oh, jeez.
If you had 1,400 properties, how much time would you be spending on a weekly basis planning your time? More or less?
More. But I would say at that point, I would hope I have like people.
Well, you would
An
have people,
integrator and everything. Yeah.
well, you would, but you also would be spending you'd probably be spending days a week in planning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the point, is that
Gotcha.
so it's your life will scale to your ability to manage it.
Right. Right.
And when you can't manage it, it'll stop scaling. So the first thing you need to do is to get a personal assistant, executive assistant of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. I think one thing I've been doing is like, well, one thing I guess I should say I haven't been doing is I've been scaling the growth, but I haven't been scaling everything else, like the mindset or the mindset work, journaling. I haven't been scaling like self-care routines. All that stuff kind of just fell off. Like when I started scaling, because I'm like, oh, but I should probably do this instead of, like plan my week. All that stuff kind of fell off. That's definitely one thing that happened.
Now you need leverage.
Yeah.
Now you need leverage.
Yeah. Totally agree. Cool, man. Yeah. I really appreciate this.
Awesome.
Really powerful. I'll go through that, what you gave me. And I think it really makes it clear for me how to reframe this.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, it's great to talk to you today. I'll talk to you soon, Ryan.
All right.
And for everyone else, thank you for listening to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Dries. To get your own experience of coaching, go to freeintrosession.com. My team will give you a complimentary introductory session and help you uncover your biggest target you should be aimed at. Until the next episode, I'm Jason Dries. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.